Outlander.
Truly. Hello. Every night is girls' night, and tonight it's time to talk about Barbie. Welcome to the Cool Table. I am Beth. And if you're with us live, please say hello in the chat. And with us tonight are my friends Amy and Meredith. Everybody say hello. Introduce yourselves.
Hey, I'm Amy.
So profesh.
I'm Amy, and I'm wearing my Barbie bracelet that I bought at Connecticut Comic-Con this past weekend. And I don't know where I picked this up, but I've been wearing it a lot lately.
Very cute.
I mean, it's very Party City.
Mm-hmm.
No, for the people who are listening and can't see, it's just like a lei, but for your wrist.
Yeah, it's a wrist lay.
I'm sure maybe I got it from like a bad sorority party back in the 90s called like Jamaican Me Crazy or something.
Did you not ever have like a lei hang? Everybody had leis hanging from their rearview mirror when I was in high school. That was the big thing.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I was a very
rainbow lei.
conscientious driver, and I feel like that would have messed with my ability to see.
Oh, well, I had 9 wrecks between the ages of 16 and 19, so I was not conscientious. I was really worried about looking cool and blasting my music at a certain decibel and smoking the one cigarette I had a day, which was when I was driving my car. That was it. Anyway, Meredith has not said hello. Hi, Meredith. Say hi. Introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Meredith. I guess I need no introduction. I have really cool earrings.
Those are gorgeous.
Thank you.
On you, too.
Thank you. So I was really pumped for the Barbie movie, and I was really happy to see it, and I'm really happy to talk about it.
Yay. Amy and Meredith are very much, sporting their Barbie fashions, and I just thought I'd be Ken tonight with my.
No, I told you you're Alan.
I'll be Alan. That's fine. I wore this to work today, and I didn't feel like changing, so that's the kind of mood I'm in. Hi, Jennifer. Hey, Alicia. Hi, Barbies. What sorority were you in?
Barbie.
Who was in a sorority?
Because I just said that I was like a sorority party. Oh my gosh. Let's not talk about my trauma. So at Clemson, like everyone joins a sorority. And when I rushed, I forget what it's called, but it's like dead drop or something. That's like a drag term. But it's like where you only pick one at the very end. And if you don't get them, you get nothing. And I dead dropped 80 pie and I didn't get it because I had like recommendations for them and I just thought I was a shoo-in. Anyway, I talk about it in therapy sometimes. It's fine.
Oh, that really sucks.
Yeah.
It's just not nice. I don't think that sorority rushing is a nice thing to do. I don't think that.
It's 100%. And it's like your whole social life is then just devastated and ruined.
Yeah. Has the Sounds Like a Cult Pod done an episode on Greek life yet?
Yeah, or just like specifically like sorority Pan-Hellenic Greek life in southern state schools. I think that would be a great.
Is it worse in the South than it is everywhere else?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I would think that the Northeast has its own like level of horribleness, just different.
I think the Northeast has more like maybe like secret clubs or something. I never really got the vibe that sororities were like a big deal. In the Northeast. The only my first person I met that was in a sorority was one of my law school roommates who was in a sorority at like a small school in Maryland. And she was insane. So,
yeah.
I mean, it is like social life or death in state schools in the South, which is fucked up.
I mean, I wasn't in a sorority and I didn't make friends in college. Not at school. But I also lived at home and spent all my free time at church, so.
Oh. Well, you were sorority of the Lord.
I was in a different kind of cult.
Yes.
Different kind of brother sisterhood. But anyway, we're here to talk about the Barbie movie. And sorry we've been so like slow on the uptake. But no Hangoutlander this week. Not that we like do lives every week or anything. We've just been doing them lately. But somebody was like, no Hangoutlander. And I was like, no Hangoutlander. But also, are we chatting all the time now? Is that a thing we're doing? Well, that's fine with me.
We are. We've been doing Outlander. Well, one time we had to do 2 episodes. But it's been fun hanging out with everybody, bitching about Outlander.
It is Outlander.
It made me feel, I think every episode makes me feel like I'm having a stroke.
We're all Mitch McConnell every time we're watching Outlander. Every time.
Mitch.
We're just like,
he was shitting his pants, right? Everyone says that he was having a stroke, but I think it was a stroke / shitting your pants.
I don't think he was shitting his pants. I really think that he just I think he had a stroke. I think that felt like that looked like a total stroke to me. Or he's had them in the past and he's having his brain has not come back online yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just needs to die. I mean, I have no problem saying that at all.
Well, even Dianne Feinstein today, they were saying had to be prompted to vote yes on whatever appropriations bill they were doing or whatever. She couldn't remember why she was there. Yeah. We need age limits, term limits for sure, and age limits yesterday.
Or also stopped electing people who have nothing else going on in their lives except for power. Enjoy watch Outlander, read a book.
That has to be imposed by laws because the people that already have the power are going to win those elections because of their power. So it has to be enforced legally. Yes. People aren't going to do it. They're not going to give it up. It's crazy though.
I would give it up. The thought that at that age, I could be literally shitting myself on camera. I mean,
or even just looking that bad. I want to no, I'll go into the dark on my own with Death Cab for Cutie. Thank you very much. I don't want anybody to see it. Thank you. I just don't want to be seen. I don't want to be
some self-respect.
And these people are all rich too. That's the other thing that gets me. If I was that rich, I would just be on a beach somewhere. Or
why are they not wanting to enjoy
their money,
what they've amassed? In a different way.
Has no one told them that the Real Housewives of New York is amazing and that they should just be sitting at home and watching it? Take a break. Standing? Does Mitch even want to stand?
No. He wants to sit and look at federal society judges. That's all he wants to do.
And what else could you accomplish? You've already eliminated Roe v. Wade. Mazel. Now go the fuck away.
Oh God. He needs to go away into the dark.
Yes.
But anyway, Alicia just said yes, it was definitely a complete mini stroke. She asked her partner, who's a medic intern, for confirmation. But yeah, let's discuss Barbie because the politics of this movie feels very apropos to what we're talking about right now. But how did we see the movie? Who did everybody go with? I want to say from the jump that we all stand in solidarity with the SAG-AFTRA and the WGA and their strike. This is not a promotion of the movie. It's just ladies chatting about their experience with Barbies and with seeing this movie. So,
yes,
there you go.
I was listening to a podcast with 2 members of SAG-AFTRA, and one is also a writer. Can you be in both? Maybe, I guess.
Yeah.
And they were having a really nice long conversation about Barbie as just kind of a pop culture thing that's happening.
Yeah.
But it is also kind of weird, in not knowing what the rules are of are you strike breaking or because I was panicking, am I allowed to go to Connecticut dressed up as a character? But also I'm nobody. I mean, I don't monetize.
No, we're not
getting rich off the cool table.
We're not. Trust me, this is not monetized. We don't care. We're not, we're not out here to make money.
Right.
But how did you guys see the movie? Who did you see it with? And were you jumping at the bit to see it? Or did you whatever?
I was trying to see it with girlfriends and no one could quite find the day to watch it. And then also with the amount of tickets that we needed. So I made a last minute decision on Thursday afternoon when I saw that it was playing at 3:50 before it actually literally released or whatever. And I just bought 2 tickets for me and my daughter, and I picked her up, and I was like, "We're going to see a Barbie movie." But now she wants to go back and watch it again because she was super stressed out. She's doing a Shakespeare production of, they're doing a teenage production of Midsummer Night's Dream, and she was really panicking, and she's like, "I couldn't even enjoy it." So we're going to go again on Saturday.
Aw. Nice.
Yeah.
What about you, Mare?
I went with my married couple friends, and it was an 11 a.m. showing at
Dad.
on a Sunday. So it was really cute. There were a lot of little kids who were all dressed up in their like finest, like I think just princess gear, basically like fairy circles. It was great. I found that like the mix of my audience was like not laughing a lot, which was so strange. And I was like, I need to have permission to laugh in the movie theater. I don't want to be the one person ha-haing.
Oh, you should go with me because I'm just like, "Meh."
I know.
Same with my daughter. My Emerson, my youngest, was like cackling to the point where she embarrassed my oldest. My oldest was like, "Does she have to act like that in the movies?" And I was like, "She was having a good time, bitch. It was fun."
It was a good time. It was such a good time. It was great. I want to go again. I need to go again. And I'm not like a person that rewatches movies, but I need to go see it again. And like, I was really good. I didn't watch any trailers or just basically the first trailer. I didn't watch I scrolled past clips on TikTok. I wanted to go in totally blind. It was perfect. I want to go again, like by myself. I have a movie theater right across the street from where I work. And like, I just want to go to a midday showing where like no one's there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
You're going to have to wait a couple of weeks for that.
Alicia just said, I went with my partner, and the only thing I would have changed was not going with my partner.
What?
Yeah. Why? Tell us. So while the lag is catching up with that, I went with my whole family and my daughter's boyfriend. So me and Blurtlander, my husband Ryan, and Ella and Emerson, and then Ella's boyfriend. And it was
how did Blurt like it?
He liked it fine. I mean, he wasn't like blown away, but we also I think the last movie we saw in the theater was like Shang-Chi. Like he never goes to the movies. Sometimes
was what?
Shang-Chi, the Marvel movie, like with
Simu Limu. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he doesn't he just doesn't like to go to the movies. He wants to be on the couch watching it. He's like, is it streaming yet? We'll watch it when it's streaming. And my girls, I'll take them or whatever, but anyway, he just doesn't like the movies. And we spent like $80 on concessions for the 5 days. So he was
not cheap.
He was like, this is so fun. I'm so glad we're spending all this money. But anyway, it was a good time. We went on Sunday, I think Sunday afternoon. Yeah.
Sitting in front of us was an entire row of moms in like hot pink jumpsuits and high heels. And they clearly brought in like their own wine and rosé and stuff, but they also had really little ones with them. And there was a lot of like getting up, shuffling, walking around, like a lot of kids in the dark being like, Mama.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just kept thinking, I don't care. Like I've been there before. Like that was a wasted ticket. Like your 4-year-old is not understanding the Barbie movie.
No. I mean, they're going to have a good time because they're at the movies, but it's not worth it.
So ladies, if I could suggest anything, it's get a baby. If you have little ones, get a babysitter and go without them.
Yeah. 12 and up, maybe. Jennifer, you were supposed to see it with a group of women and it fell apart. You saw the first half and then you saw the second half. So you took about 2 tickets and just went and left. And then how'd you know when it was going to be the second half? Does your theater do half movies? I would think that'd be very cool if they did.
Wait, did she have Oppenheimer in it? That'd be funny. Like you go to an hour of Barbie and then you go watch an hour and a half of Oppenheimer and then you go.
Bretta, hey, nice to see you. I mean, we're gonna spoil some things in the movie as we talk about it, but if you're cool with that, then I'm glad you're here.
Ooh,
what?
We're having a massive thunderstorm all of a sudden.
Oh. I heard it.
Getting what I had 2 hours ago. It was a big girl.
We had such a bad storm the other last week. It was straight line winds or whatever that a window in my library busted. Debris came through it, and we have glass shards on at least 1,000 books. And
that's scary.
Yes, I'm like, how are we cleaning this up? Who, what? How are we cleaning books? And shelves, shelves I can get, but books, how are we getting the glass out of these books?
Yeah,
and it's basically they're just kind of shrugging, we'll do our best. I'm just okay, I guess. So no matter what, when you go to the library, just
Yes,
The
Bretta. I'm
caution.
in Rhode Island. Sorry. She said
Just,
Boston.
have some caution when you pick up a library book. It could have a bed bug in it. It could have glass in it. Just.
Oh, I never thought about that. How'd you get your bed bugs? Oh, the library.
What an advertisement for libraries.
Can you
I love
steam
it.
your books as they come in?
I love it. And usually like they spend so much time in like people's cars and in like a truck or whatever that it's not going to have like a live bug in it. But we have seen a bed bug before. It's nasty.
I would not stop
it was awful the whole day. I was like, and I like got naked in the garage when I got home, and like I walked into the bedroom, and Ryan was like, "Did you drive home like that? Why do you not have any clothes on?"
I was like, when you find out your kid has lice, and you're just like,
yes. Okay, so let's talk about our Barbie journeys. What is your experience with Barbie, and like your good memories of it, or whatever? We have to talk about like. We'll get into like who your fave was, but like, do you remember, playing with them as a little kid? Like who was giving them to you? Did people play with you? Were you like not allowed to play with them? Like what's your.
Oh, that would make me so sad if people weren't allowed to play with
them. That would be so sad.
Go ahead, Mare.
I remember, I feel like one of my very clear memories about being like 3 is like sitting in the back of a car and chewing on a Barbie's hand.
Like, did you bite into their I've done that on some of them. Like you bite into the tips of their fingers to make it look like they have like long nails.
No, I definitely wasn't doing it to make it. I think I was just doing it because I just wanted to chew on something.
Okay.
Oral fixation.
Yeah.
They could have given you a pin, but you said Barbie's hand is here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's because that was back there in the car. And I wasn't much of a Barbie girl. I was like I'm still very much a horse girl. So I got like Grand Champions, Breyer horses, but I liked the Barbies that were posable, like Olympic Barbie, Esmeralda, because they could ride the Breyer horses.
She had she had a horse.
She did have her. I did have I think I bought that really creepy horse at a garage sale. Mine didn't really work, and it would kind of like take 2 steps and then fall over. So I feel like there was a lot of play around that horse always being sick.
Mm.
I do love how creative kids are. They're just like, oh, this horse is dead, or like we're gonna have to put it down, or like it broke its hamstring during the Kentucky Derby.
That's and I feel like well-meaning adults would or like maybe my mom's coworkers or other family members who didn't know me well would like send a Barbie, because I think that was like ubiquitous for like girls 7 to 10 or something.
Yeah. Bretta just said she was friends with her next door neighbor, and she'd bring her Barbie box, an actual Barbie box, over to play Barbie with her. Like Barbie had the best like pick up and go type of stuff. Like you could just like I had a little, carrying case. My sister had a totally different carrying case that, of course, was a little bit better because all of my sister's stuff, she's 5 years older than me, was just like slightly better than what I had. But yeah, Barbie liked to travel.
My first Barbie was my mom, Santa Claus, got it for me in 1977. And I remember like the joy of like truly believing that Santa Claus brought this to me, and like going in her room and like waking her up. And I love how like my Barbie journey, I feel like the ones that I've always loved, I guess I just kind of like kept that in my own viscera or something. Like if they're my favorite, when I was looking back, like trying to figure out what my favorite Barbies were, they all either were wearing yellow maxi dresses or jumpsuits. And that is just my jam.
Yeah, it is. That's very you.
Like, I know. And I always got lots of Barbies and like clothes and stuff. I seem to have a lot of like handmade Barbie fashions that my mom would buy at craft fairs. I never had any Barbie houses. I didn't have the one with the elevator or the dream house, but I always would build my own stuff, like with Legos or Tinker Toys or Lincoln Logs.
Yeah. I don't have a memory of like my first Barbie because, again, I had an older sister and she had stuff before I did. She's 5 years older than me. So like by the time I got around to wanting to play with Barbies, I had been playing with Barbies because they were in the house already. And we had some of my mom's Barbies, which I still have. And I went upstairs to go get them. They're in my craft closet, and they're like sticky. Like,
do hers have like the very severe face?
yes,
Yeah.
and like they have really short hair. They have bouffant 60s hair that's like red, and her kin has that like fuzz hair that like would rub off,
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
really,
yeah.
really,
Yes.
really like rounded hairline. Then his hair's like all fuzzy. And all of my mom's Barbie clothes are handmade by my great grandmother. So we have beautiful like Barbie couture. We have a satin wedding dress. There's a mink coat up there. There's like a green 60s coat with like a fur stole. I mean, there's jumpsuits. Ken has a fringe leather suede jacket that my great grandmother made. Like I have so many cool clothes up there, but like the Barbies themselves are just like my mom's. There's 2 Kens and 2 Barbies, and they look like shit. Like the heads are off, the arms are off. You know, they look gross. But the clothes are like so cool. That wedding dress that my great grandmother made is like so beautiful. But yeah, I don't have like my grandmother would give me one almost every Christmas for a few years, and it would probably be because my grandmother was a little off and a little crazy. It would probably be like the big Barbie from the year before, but it was like at the grocery store that year, you know, like it hit. So I had like Valentine Barbie, the one with like the white and red hearted dress, and I had a peaches and cream. I had 2 of the Valentine ones. I think she forgot that she gave them to me one year, and I got another one. So they were always twins when I played because they had the same outfit and the same color hair. And I didn't have any dream houses. I did have the Barbie Dream Store. And when you talk about not being able to play with Barbie, the Barbie Dream Store had like a couple of countertops, and it had all of these accessories. It had a ton of belts, a ton of hats, little pink plastic bags that you could, you know, take your stuff away. And it had like little stands, like there were little hat stands, and there's just like all kinds of stuff for you to like make your store and sell all of your accessories. And my mom would never get it down out of the closet for me to play with because she didn't want me to mess it up.
Oh,
so like,
yeah, that's.
I played with it once. I remember playing with it one time. So when I had kids, I was like, they're playing with that motherfucking Barbie Dream Store. Like they're playing with it. And so I had pictures of like Ella playing with my Dream Store because I never got to play with it as a kid.
There was a Barbie magazine that I got for Christmas one year, and it had like the Barbie Dream Store in it. And I was just like, oh my God.
Like I remember so perfectly, like all of the little accessories, all of the hats. There was like a hard purple hat that was like lavender. Like I remember everything and wanting to play with it so badly. My mom just wouldn't get it down out of the closet for me.
Could you not like just go up there and get it?
I think I must have at some, like the one time I really played with it, I got it out. But she was just like one of those moms that like, you know, things needed to be clean and I was going to mess it up. And just never got it down for me.
Wah, wah.
And I had a silver convertible that I'm pretty sure was not Barbie branded because it was silver. Right?
Yeah.
And it was just like the most boring car. Like it just rolled. My sister had the real Barbie like Mercedes convertible that was bright pink and did the thing where you could go zhun, zhun, and then it would run out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it had made that noise. It would rev as it rolled. It was so much cooler, such a better car. Everything she had was better.
I think I had a Corvette. Barbie had a Corvette, maybe? And they would sit in the back because it'd almost sometimes be a pain in the ass to get them.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Like Barbies with their hands like this, and they were like super hard. And then, especially because I'm old and I grew up in the time where everything was gold lame, and you'd be trying to put their hands in some kind of like robe, and it would just keep getting stuck.
Yes, it's like it was perfectly fitted to her wrist, but her whole hand had to go through it first.
Or maybe that was why we got like really good like. What's that skill called when you have a little kid? Like,
your gross motor skills. Your
gross motor skills.
I don't know. But yeah, I love reading everybody's like stuff. Sheila said her mom was an excellent seamstress, so she made clothes for my Barbies and matching outfits for me. Oh. I had one baby doll that came with like a nightgown for me and a nightgown for the baby doll, and I wore it out.
That's a very American Girl thing too, especially when Ruby had them.
Day to Night Barbie. That's her most memorable one. I do love that one. I think my sister had it, of course. My sister also had the Hart family. Do y'all know who they are?
Yes.
It's a
Are they
Barbie.
animals? No.
It's a knockoff, right?
Okay.
Are they knockoffs?
Yeah.
I mean,
Fine.
let's somebody Google
You
it.
push the heart thing and the like arms move and stuff.
No, I don't know.
Oh.
They were just regular fashion dolls, but it was a brunette couple, and then they had 2 kids. And the woman had like the most like early 80s, like long, big, curly brown hair. And I was very jealous of her Hart family.
Actually, now just saying it, I remembered I had Kissing Barbie, and she had a thing in her back that you pushed it, and her lips are permanently puckered, and her head would do this, and she came with like her own special lipstick. I'm not making this up.
Okay, I'm looking at it right now. The Hart family is not a Barbie, but it's licensed by Mattel. So it is a Barbie. Just doesn't say Barbie.
Okay.
The pictures
Are they
of
the
them-
same size? Like, could she also wear Barbie clothes? Because that'd be
yes.
the worst when someone gives you like, here's a Marie Osmond doll. You're like, that's great. She doesn't fit in my Barbie clothes.
Yeah. Oh my God, looking at this. She's wearing a drop waist like gunny sack.
They
dress.
look like the pictures of the Hart family look like a Christian family Instagram.
Oh yes, absolutely.
It's very, what is that place? Turtle Manor. That lady that you hate, Amy.
Turtle Creek Lane.
Turtle Creek Lane. But I wonder why they don't have names. They're just the Hart family, mom and baby, dad and baby. But they're clearly a Ken and a Barbie.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird.
Yeah, I just looked at. There's Kissing Christy. She's black, and then there's Kissing Barbie, and their lips are like this, and then you make her kiss, and her lips pucker, and she makes a sound, and then she kisses. She gives you lipstick kisses.
I can't believe that they had stuff like the skipper with the boobs that got bigger. I don't remember any of that stuff. I feel like I was sheltered from it or something. I don't remember that.
Or that was that was past our time, or before our time, maybe?
Before.
Would it have been? Yeah, maybe. It was like in the 60s or something.
Yeah.
Because I think
the doll who kisses.
For Earring Magic Ken. I remember that being like
that was past. Yeah, I don't remember that. But someone posted a minute ago, like they love that someone had mentioned like girls have to give up playing with their toys, but boys are allowed. And one thing that I've loved is seeing other women talk about how they felt like, especially in middle school, they were supposed to stop playing with dolls, and they would secretly do it. Like, I was very much a secret Barbie person.
Yeah, I definitely played with toys up until like 6th, 7th grade. But then it felt weird because no one else was playing with them.
You weren't playing with them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you couldn't talk to your friends about it.
Right. Right. No one wanted to like, oh my God, my friend had 100-piece 101 Dalmatian set.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know.
I'd want to play with that right now.
I want to play with it too. But then it was like, oh, like, do you want to play with toys? No. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Alicia just said, did you see the list of shows, I guess is what you're trying to say, that Mattel is trying to cash in now? Oh,
Yeah.
Cows that Mattel is trying to cash in now that Bart really did well. Yes, like, and some of them are so ridiculous, like Uno or even like Barney. I just don't think these are properties that like lend themselves well to another. But like American Girl doll, like, yeah, do it. Whole series of American Girl.
That, right?
Yeah,
They
but they're
have
from
movies.
the 80s or the early 90s, right?
No, some of them are quite new.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. The newest ones are girls from like 2000.
Oh, they have movies for the 2000 American Girl dolls?
No, but this year they released the historical doll. This year was 2 twins from 2000.
No, but they have videos or DVDs of movies about the American Girl doll stuff. I think their most popular one was Kit Kittredge.
Oh, yeah. Alicia, you've said twice now that your dad removed all of your Barbies from your room forcibly, and I am very sad for you. That is awful.
No.
Wrong.
So, Bretta, you're the one who hasn't seen the movie. So they address the fact that, like, in the movie, Barbie and all of the Barbies live in Barbie land and believe that like they have made the world for real girls better, that they have been Supreme Court justices and Pulitzer Prize winners and all of the things that Barbie has been. And therefore girls can know that they can do those things too. And now the world is better. So then when Barbie has to go to the real world, all of the girls are like, nope, like you're the worst. You gave us all, EDs, and like you are just you've been given everybody like these unrealistic beauty standards, and you are, anti-feminist and everything. And she's like shocked. So a big thrust of the movie is like why Barbie didn't become the thing that she thought she was.
Yeah.
In the real world.
Yeah.
But it's like, I wrote a piece this week for the Cool Table about like my Barbie experiences, and like of all the things that gave me the eating disorder, Barbie wasn't on the list. Like for me, Barbie was really about like my imagination and picturing a place that wasn't where I currently was. Like at no point was I envisioning scenarios. Barbie was always in the city somewhere in a fabulous apartment, and it was not South Carolina. And I'm like, yeah, she gave me like the ability to like dream of glamour and fabulousness and clothes. Like we couldn't afford like nice fancy clothes. My Barbie could look fantastic. I would get like hand-me-down Forenza every once in a while. Like I remember one time my mom bought me an Esprit shirt for like at Belk's, like regular price, and I was like,
yeah, I had one Esprit sweatshirt, and it was a hand-me-down from my cousins.
yeah
And I was like I'm like an 80s baby. Like Esprit was not cool by the time I was 11, and I was like, look at me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And mine was a crop top too. It was like a green and white striped crop top, and I would walk around in it like, ooh.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I've liked is like learning how kind of like subversive Barbie is and was at the time. Like when she had her own dream house, women couldn't, like that was at a time where like a woman couldn't purchase a house and be on a loan get a mortgage by herself. Like I always think back to like the 60s or the 70s when my grandma was trying to buy a house for herself and her 3 kids, and her unemployed brother had to be a co-signer on the loan.
Isn't that crazy? And she had a house with an elevator.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
And Barbie had her own house, and it's like, it's fascinating that Barbie has never had a baby. Barbie has never gotten married to Ken. That's like really, if you think like that's subversive in its own way, even though it like adheres to all of these gender norms and like beauty standards and all that other stuff.
And I think that like a lot of people, like my kids' generation, don't understand that because they grew up on like Littlest Pet Shop and things like that, and they all had a tree house, and they all had this, and they they all have all of the stuff that like Barbie was the first one to have that stuff. Like literally all kids had were trucks and toys and baby dolls and animals. And
or you would have like the Fisher-Price Little People, which were just little
creepy.
Oh, I loved them. The little Tudor house that goes when you do the doorbell.
They're too weird.
But there just
My
wasn't
parents
like
still have that at their house.
Now kids have like, hamster wheel, worlds for all of their different types of toys. And that just like wasn't what was happening in this.
Well, what I loved, especially like I was very particular to Barbie because she was the most realistic in terms of human play. Like I didn't like Strawberry Shortcake because her head was giant and she smelled like that. To me just wasn't realistic. Everything that I wanted to play was like an adult life that was fabulous in some place that I like. That's why I loved Glamour Girls. I don't know if anyone ever played with them, but they were like little teenier Barbies, but they were all like people. Mm-hmm. And that's the other thing about like the Fisher-Price Little People. They're not really realistic. Not that Barbie's realistic, but as was the most realistic to any toy that was out there. I didn't like the little, like they weren't Little Mermaids. We had mermaid toys, and I would take them in the bath and stuff, but I didn't like My Little Pony because I wasn't going to create scenes with horses. No offense, Mare. Like it just wasn't.
Little Pony. But
I
like,
just wanted very realistic play. And I would
Mhm.
actually, if I didn't like paper dolls
Oh,
because
I
they
did.
just, but I made my own paper dolls. I would go through the Sears catalog and cut out real people, or the Virginia Slims ads back in the day. You would get like the full, like from the head to the shoes. And I would even cut out like around their cigarette, But like I always just wanted very realistic toys.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't feel like I feel like my play was limited by our lifestyle. Like,
Mm.
So
It's funny because I was raised Southern Baptist, but I was also very much ignored.
mhm.
So I really had that freedom to play however I wanted. I couldn't watch Three's Company because it was a man living with two women he wasn't married to, but I could definitely get Barbie and Ken naked in the bubble bath.
Yeah. See, mine was just like how my mom was. Like I used to get in trouble if I decided to like have a pool day with my Barbies. And so I would fill up the, bathroom sink because that's what you did when you didn't have the dream house and you didn't have the fake pool. You filled up the bathroom sink and
Yeah.
that was the pool.
Yeah.
And oh man, my mom would like lose it
Why? Because it was messy, or you were going to
Mhm.
mess up your Barbie?
because it was messy. Water,
Soapy water.
soapy water. Mhm.
Oh, Beth.
Yeah, she's a bitch. Anyway, she'll never see this. It's fine. But yeah. So
Hmm.
yeah, I feel like the movie has like subversive undertones, but also has it's just there's clearly lacking. Like there's clearly like areas in which it's not that they weren't thoughtful about it. I think the movie is good. I think it has a great message. But I think that there's clearly like ways in which it misses a bit of a mark. And like, I don't know, Ken, takes over all of Barbie's space. He doesn't create anything on his own. He just kind of like reinvents what she has put in and the world that she has put in and to make it his own. And yet when she takes it back and he's left without his, colonized space, he cries and she lets him get away with like his feelings. She apologizes. Like there's just no, I don't know.
Mm.
It's not that I think that Ken should have been punished, but I feel like Ken should have had a lesson learned, and I feel like he didn't. I don't know.
I mean, Ken kind of gets like thrown out of. Ken doesn't end up getting what he wants, right? Because all he wants is for Barbie to love him, and she's like, "Nah, not for me, bud." So he's kind of faced with like going forward with not like the first thing we learn about Ken is that he only has a good day if Barbie looks at him.
Yeah.
So he's now faced with a reality where that Barbie will never look at him again, which is
Mhm.
kind of like a punishment. But I'm thinking more and more about like how the like there's even like body horror like scary and like shaming and Barbie Land, like where she freaks out when she gets cellulite
Mhm.
and where they freak out when her feet aren't high heeled. And even that banner before she goes away, like, good luck to go into the world before you're covered in cellulite.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so fascinating that even in a perfect world where where feminism and women are totally empowered, there's still this fear over your body being different, so much so that weird Barbie kind of gets ostracized.
Yeah, and it's not consistent because there are plus size Barbies. There's trans woman Barbie. There's there's Barbie that's uses a wheelchair. There's like there's like inclusivity in Barbie land, but not in maybe stereotypical Barbie's like position in Barbie land.
Yeah.
And they're recognizing, like maybe they're giving the recognition to the fact that like stereotypical Barbie does not have cellulite. Stereotypical Barbie is not okay with what's happening with weird Barbie.
But even with the diversity of all of them, they're still like Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. And I feel like Weird Barbie and her gang is kind of not that way anymore. To me, I feel like they're more of like, it's a philosophical difference. They all might have, different body types and stuff, but they're still Barbie, which is what Barbie sells us today.
Yeah.
Like the fashion Barbies and stuff, or the different body types of Barbies and things, that it's still Barbie.
Yeah.
As opposed to Weird Barbie, who was just like, let me tell you about this fucking shit.
Yeah. But still Barbie. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just, I feel like maybe the continuity of like, or just like the world building of what we're looking at isn't fully realized, or fully like completely like every like conceivable plot hole of what that means for the world is not connected. Because like if Gloria, the America Ferrera character, is playing with her Barbie in a way that affects that Barbie's subconscious, like stereotypical Barbie, Margot Robbie says like that she doesn't need Ken, doesn't love Ken, like has never she doesn't have any use for him really. So why? Well, Gloria at one point is like, yeah, I didn't want a Ken. I never wanted a Ken. I didn't need a Ken. I didn't see a point in having one or something like that. So like the way she plays with her Barbie is what created Margot Robbie's internal, ethos. So every single Barbie then should have some sort of like it just feels like they should within Barbie Land have some bit of their owner in them. And it didn't feel like that. It felt like they all had the same personality, or even though they were good, but they're all good at whatever they do. And they're all great at whatever they do. And that's fine. But like none of them are queer. Like what's going on with the Barbies? Like why, are they individuals or are they not? And it just like felt like it wasn't quite clear.
Well, are they even
weird
queer, or are they all just pretty asexual?
Right, because their children.
He was like, "Let me come hang out with you tonight," and she's like, "Why?"
Yeah.
To
do what?
But like, I always kind of thought as my kin, not even really as, because I only had one, and he was just kind of like the stand-in for masculinity, manhood. So when I did learn what sex was, and I elevated my play to be more, dramatic, it was never like, he was never really involved. He would always just kind of like be off to the side, and now you're going to be over here in the bathtub with Barbie. And wasn't that funny? Ha ha ha. You guys doing it or whatever, and trying to like bend their legs to look like, because my Ken doll's legs didn't move. So he was very much in a plank position trying to have sex with Barbie.
I mean, my sexual situations were like limited to like Days of Our Lives. So I felt like I knew.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I mean?
sure.
So I was just like reenacting what I saw on daytime television.
I'm surprised I didn't use a ballpoint pen and draw a patch on him, because of.
I was surprised there was no like awkward like there was never a kiss between Barbie and Ken. I was surprised that there was no awkward like slamming together.
Yeah,
like little
like
kids
we were saying, like there's no scissoring.
Yeah, like someone on Twitter was like, I don't know, there was no scissoring. All of my Barbies scissored, but like,
yeah,
like it was surprising that there wasn't. I don't know, that there wasn't that expression, because there's plenty of kids that like play like smash them together. And
I spent a ton of time doing that with my Barbies.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really expected there to be like just that full like almost A-line moment with them or something.
The Eiffel Tower.
Yeah. Well, not the actual Eiffel Tower. That's a specific thing.
What did your kins? So I'm old. So my kin didn't have underwear. He just had like a mound.
Yeah, mine did not have underwear, but he did have hinges in his hip bones.
Mine had hinges, but he didn't have even like the lines. Like some of them have like a plastic line and then like white looking underwear.
No, mine never had underwear.
I know this because of Ruby's Ken doll.
That must be a new development, that they give them like undergarments.
Yeah,
so that they're not.
Or it's like molded into the plastic. Like Ruby's, all of her Barbies had like they weren't white, they were flesh tone, but they were a pattern was molded into.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that from some of my girls' dolls, but I thought it was only. I'm remembering it incorrectly, but I always felt like it was like the Disney princess dolls that had underwear on,
Maybe.
the molded underwear.
Yeah. Ruby had a lot of Barbies, I think, because I bought them for her because I just loved Barbies, but she was way more into Monster High. And
Yeah, my daughter did that for a little while, but not long.
and then when she, like, again, when you feel that pressure to get rid of all your toys, probably about a year ago, Ruby was like, I'm very sad that I got rid of all my dolls. And like she gave them to somebody. And so we went to Walmart and bought like a couple of Monster High dolls for her.
You know, I went
So-
through a phase in like late high school, maybe my senior year and like the first year of college, where I bought a bunch of like collector Barbies. Like
Mhm.
I think it started with Audrey Hepburn dolls. They were coming out with like a Breakfast at Tiffany's one and My Fair Lady one, and I wanted the My Fair Lady ones really badly. And then it just snowballed. I had Autumn in New
Mm.
York Barbie and summer in whatever, and then I had like Ken and Barbie sets. I had Arthur and Guinevere and Romeo and Juliet, and like never took them out of the box. I don't know what was happening with my life when I was like 18, but I don't even know where they are. I think they're in a storage box in the attic, probably all melted, but I have them.
You have to go searching.
I have them somewhere. I also have a big box of Beanie Babies somewhere.
Have you seen, are you going to watch the Beanie Baby movie?
I don't know. I just watched the Vice documentary on Hulu called like The Dark Side of the 90s, and each episode is a different thing from the 90s. And last night we watched the Beanie Baby episode, and it was so good.
Because it's got it's got
niece-
Siobhan from Succession in it.
I was gonna say
think-
my niece just found the Beanie Babies in the attic, and like just a box full of them. She was just
Do Beanie Babies, Beanie Babies,
the
are
Beanie
they,
Babies.
are they still worth anything?
I don't think so.
No.
I think I saw her playing with like a Princess Di, so I'm doubt. I feel like that one was like the be all end all.
It was. I worked at a Hallmark store
Oh,
when I was 19.
Wait, what was it?
The Princess Di bear, the purple one with the white rose.
Mhm.
I think I'd missed all that. I'm old.
I was working at a Hallmark and like right towards the end of the Beanie Baby craze, but there were still people that would come and get like all the Garcia bear and all that stuff. And so I like was taken back to the Beanie Baby moments. But the only ones I had I bought like when I was working at that Hallmark just because they were like, these are going to be worth money. And I was like, okay.
The Beanie Babies.
I get a 40% discount. I'll take these Beanie Babies.
Britta, someone turned into a scene out of the 40-year-old virgin. Yes, that's Beth. She was like 18 and was like, don't touch my things.
I did have like, in my mind, I think when I was in college, I thought I'm going to be an English teacher and I'm going to be teaching, Shakespeare and Arthurian legend. And I'm going to want these Romeo and Juliet Barbies in my room. I don't know. It was very odd. It's a very odd thing to collect.
Well,
I
it'd be
don't
like
know
when
what
I
Audrey
would be in
Hepburn had to do with it.
Sunday school class and I would take notes and I'd be like, I might teach a Bible study one day. Like, fuck.
100%. I really need to highlight this and take notes because this is going to be important one day. Someone's going to ask me the question and I'm going to be like, wait a minute. In 1982,
Yes.
this guy said this. I wrote it down.
Oh my gosh.
Embarrassing moments
From my past.
from being an evangelical. So, okay, let's talk about like some of the worst takes we've seen on the movie because it's clearly polarizing.
Okay. My cousins and I have a group chat where all we do is talk about how one of their partners loves Ben Shapiro, and how much we hate Ben Shapiro.
Why? Why don't I him?
He went to the Barbie movie. I haven't even looked into like what his deal was. He went to the Barbie movie and he talked about it for 45 minutes about why he hated it. And I think one of the clips was talking about how men gave women the right to vote because some men are good. And I just have to say that is the worst take. He's such a strange little man.
That's like the freedom isn't free. Like someone had to give it to you. No, bitch.
Yeah.
Freedom is freedom.
What I do enjoy is that he needed the algo, so he needed to be on that
Yes.
poster, which shows you how important the movie, I guess, cultural zeitgeist level it is for him to.
And he paid to see it, and how many people have now paid to see it because they want to see what Ben Shapiro was talking about?
Yes.
And it's not even like a consistent ethos. Like what he's talking about is not consistent at all. Like, oh, well, men gave women the right to vote. So why, that's the feminism. But then he was mad that they only gave men one spot on the Supreme Court or whatever, like a one vote at the end. Like what they're giving it to them. It's the women who are giving it to, it's not even consistent.
Some of the Barbies were nice to the Kens. I don't know what his problem is. Yeah. Why don't we all calm down?
Yeah.
You need to calm down.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like
I feel like it wasn't Barbie's job to solve Ken's problems for him.
Mm-hmm.
So I was fine at the end where they just took everything back.
Yeah.
And they were just like.
I was surprised actually that Ken had any kind of arc in the movie. Like I thought, he's just Ken. He's an accessory. I thought he was going to be comic relief for her journey. And I mean, yes, but also he ends up being the main antagonist.
And he gets a musical number.
Yeah. And I was just surprised that there was that much Ken in the plot of the movie because he's just an accessory. Like,
do you think also that was partly once she cast Ryan Gosling, she was just like, oh,
let's have him sing and dance?
Well, like there's just so much more that you could do with him because he is charismatic. He is so watchable, compelling. He can sing, he can dance.
Yeah. I don't know.
I wonder.
mean, because when you look at the cast, I was just like, I was blown away like consistently. Like, oh my God, I can't believe this person's in it. This person is like watching an episode of The Bear, and you're like, why is Olivia Colman in this?
And like, it was John Cena,
right? And like, I don't know. I feel like I don't know what I thought that the antagonist for the Barbie movie would be. I thought it would just be patriarchy on its own, or the Mattel CEO himself, who seemed almost benign in relation to like what happens to Ken when Ken is like faced with patriarchy. But like the Mattel CEO, the Will Ferrell character, is steeped in it. And so why is he such kind of like a bumbling, kind of lighthearted, almost, benevolent overlord? He's not, you know what I mean? Like he just didn't seem as villainous as you would think he would be. And I guess it's because it's made by Mattel and they didn't want, I mean, like he couldn't be, but I felt like that's the point. It's like this corporation is making this movie based on this like $1 billion toy, and you can't even really discuss who the real villains are.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're not going to talk about how they're all made of plastic, how plastic is polluting the earth, overconsumption. Like we all talk about like how many Barbies we had, like they're now all in a landfill. It's plastic consumption, cheap shit made in China.
Literally, my mom's Barbies are not in a landfill. They're upstairs in an old Payless shoe source drawstring bag.
Which doesn't even exist anymore.
I know, right? They're in archival storage. I don't like, yeah.
Like, what did y'all think? Like the ultimate, what did you get out of it? Like Amy wrote this beautiful thing about motherhood and Barbie, and like, and I like, what was your feeling when you left? Like, were you like, I feel uplifted, I feel kind of confused, I feel like I'm sad and nostalgic, like what? And then like, what did you feel like you got out of it? Or what was its point?
When I was sitting there watching it, I was having that feeling of like, oh, this movie is for me as a mother. And like, because it made me feel validated as a mom who is active in this world that fucking sucks and has an eating disorder and gives in to overconsumption. I mean, I bought this just because of the Barbie movie so I can wear it to bar class. Did I need another top to wear? No. Like I'm an active participant in this shitty world. And yet it made me feel like I'm kind of doing the best that I can. You know, I can't fight every battle. We as women are fucked no matter what we do. Again, it's not our responsibility to make Ken feel validated or less of an incel that he is. It just made me feel like women can take care of women and that's okay. And men are their own problem.
Yeah. What do you think, Mare?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I was thinking about it. I like the fact that her journey was like, I like the fact that it was like kind of devoid of romance with either Ken, you know, that wasn't part of it. I like the fact that she was honestly just trying to find herself, or it's kind of like a journey of like the world is bigger. And then she wanted to participate in that world. And then like the story ends with her just kind of her just being her own person, her being fully realized and feeling in a real, and just like going, you know, going to the doctor and being normal. I don't know. It spoke. I don't want to give away. If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to give that much away. But it was just like, yeah, like she kind of the tidiness of Barbie life, of like waking up every day and just like doing everything perfectly and just driving around your car and seeing everybody win was like no longer enough for her. She wanted mess. I like that. That spoke to me.
I like that you just used the word tidiness, because that's also kind of what I liked, because it is so hard being a mom and you want to impart all of these ideas to your daughters about how fucked up the world is. And I love cheesy shit. And if I watch a TV show, like when we watch Never Have I Ever, I'm always like, did you hear that? Did you understand that? It's like you just have this, like, you want pop culture to kind of just like reinforce all of the stuff that you've told your kid. And so when in her monologue, when America Ferrera just kind of like summed it up nicely, I'm just like, did you hear that? Did you like, it's almost like, not that I'm being lazy, but it was just like, yes, will you listen to her? Like, please, my kid, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Barbie still, even though that is the world, like the line I keep thinking about is like when they go first into the real world and she goes, I do feel conscious of myself. And that idea that she's never felt self-conscious before, which I feel like if you dig into that, that doesn't really make sense, but whatever.
No.
So she's feeling self-conscious, being looked at as an object instead of a person, but that she still decides to go back to that world at the end. She leaves behind perfection for mess. I like it. I like stories like that.
Yeah. I felt like, I remember just feeling like I enjoy the fact that we are just allowing girls, especially, but like femme presenting people in general, to indulge in the things that make them feel happy. Like big dance numbers and lots of pink and silly drinks and all of that stuff without having to have a romantic storyline, without having to cater to female gaze. Like there's no tits out in this, even though it's Barbie. Like they clearly could have had, you know, weird plastic molded breasts or whatever. They could have done something that just like made her look ridiculous. Like the skipper joke is the only boob joke in the whole thing. And like I really just like was like, it's so good and so lovely to be able to just relish in something that is fully girly. And to do that with my daughters just felt really nice. That's how I felt when I left. I didn't like have a great epiphany about, I loved the America Ferrera monologue that she goes through. And I've seen it a couple times on TikTok since then. And I'm like, yes, it still kind of hits for me. I think it's wonderfully like directed. I think it's you know, such a good delivery for her and everything. And I love when Barbie is like looking around at all of the women who have like taken their power back and they're all in like their pink jumpsuits, and then she just starts like bouncing. She's like so happy to be a woman in that moment. Like I love those moments. But I didn't come out with like Like the Ruth stuff and Barbie at the end, like in the
Yeah.
void, I was like, this is pablum to me. Like it just
Yeah.
was like, this isn't doing it. It's the other stuff in the movie that felt like it was doing it for me. Like America's speech and like the celebration of pinkness and girliness.
Or
and
when
all
they
that.
were showing clips of other, like the old home movies and stuff, especially because my mother is older and I have a very fraught relationship with her in terms of my memory of her, but also she's not well physically. And as they get older, and just like kind of just, you put anything in sepia to like a sad song, and I'm just,
Mm-hmm.
but like you asked a minute ago, like what's the take that you've hated the most? I was gonna say my first take that I hated was people were like, all of you privileged bitches with Barbies. And I'm like, Barbie was not a thing of privilege. Like Barbie
No,
was
it was
cheap.
cheap.
It was cheap. Like shut the fuck up. Like
Mhm.
everyone could, I'm pretty sure almost everyone can afford a Barbie.
Not about everybody could get a dream house, but everybody could get
Right.
Barbies.
A Barbie. And or like even if, like a knockoff version of that, to have that experience of playing with like the realistic doll.
Yeah.
But yeah, this whole idea, this conversation of like the Oppenheimer versus Barbie and like what women want to watch, and if something is inherently female, we automatically just poo-poo it and deride it. You know, as someone who's obsessed with the Real Housewives, when people shit on it, I know that part of it really is because it's mostly something that women like, and it's for women.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just immediately considered,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was joyous. Okay, can we talk about one of the lines at the end, which was mothers stand still so their daughters can see how far they've come.
Yeah, that didn't resonate with me. I mean, it just didn't. That
I
line.
mean, my mom is dead, so like technically, yeah, I am going farther than she did. But
Mhm.
like, it made me cry because my mom is dead. But
yeah, like what is
I'm
the standing still? Like I worked from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. I had to basically tell someone I'm going to leave for 5 minutes so I can go pee.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm working my ass off. Like I'm not standing still. Like that's
No.
Yeah, I mean,
that was.
I probably before I was a parent was standing still. Like that, like having daughters made me move forward. Making a life that was as equally fun and exciting and important for them, but also for myself, despite having to be a mother of like small children at the time, like that was important for me. And so I don't really know what that means. And then I don't know what it means coming from Ruth, who was the founder and CEO of this. Like what are you talking about? Like
it also paints motherhood as something that the mother is always in sacrifice mode. And like that's what a lot of people are saying. Well, moms have to sacrifice for their kids. It's like, yeah, but that's like shitty. Like, I mean, everybody sacrifices for the people that they love. Great.
Yes.
We all don't get to do whatever we want. Otherwise, we would have no one around us.
right.
But that idea that moms like that, I don't know,
give up on something that they wanted, their dreams,
and that's okay, and then that's part of being a mom is like wild.
But usually if that happens, it's because of the bullshit that men put upon you. So like America Ferrera was sitting there as an assistant, not as a seat, not at that table, not because she's a mother. It's because of the men. Like when I hear my girlfriends talk, I mean, I'm a single mom, and honestly, sometimes I feel like it's better for me sometimes because I don't have to like listen to some dipshit that's like, either annoying me or not pulling his weight or whatever. And it's just like sometimes when I hear my girlfriends talk about things that they put up with the men in their lives, and then it's like the women that were there. Now, I don't know if they asked their husbands, will you watch the kids so I can go enjoy the Barbie movie? But like it's like those kind of things of like, well, I can't, I have this, my kid. And I'm just like, where's your person or your partner? Like,
yeah,
it's the men that are the problem.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there are certainly things that I sacrificed because I had kids. But sometimes, I mean, the other side of the coin is that having children is very selfish. You're choosing to bring somebody into the world for your own reasons, and they didn't ask to be born. And,
Yeah.
The planet's overpopulated. And like, that's the other side of the coin is like, yeah, you're sacrificing a lot, but also you're putting something into the world that's giving you value as well, at least in the standard that we have. So I don't know, like, and it's weird because Barbie's not a mom, and yet there was so much mom talk in this movie. Like, it's the Barbie movie, and the crux of it is that it's the mom that's the one who is giving Barbie like her personality, or giving her like her crisis or whatever. There's thoughtfulness there, but and I don't want to be like hot take on the Barbie movie, because I just feel like I've just found it celebratory. And there've been like, a few movies that I've gone to see with my kids. It's been mostly television shows that feel like that. Like when I watch Heartstopper with my kids, or, even like the Nimona movie, which if y'all haven't seen yet, like, is so good. And like, there's just certain things that you just get to sit. Like, we watched The Summer I Turned Pretty, me and my oldest, and like, it's just so summery and so, love triangle. And it's just like teen dramas and just certain things. Bridgerton, that's celebratory and all that. But this felt like kitsch and femaleness and girliness, and that's what I got out of it. That's why
when I wrote what I wrote this week, it was really about like, it was very personal. I'm not trying to say that it's just like you as a mother should be having the same experience that I did. I think it was, for me personally, what Barbie was to me growing up, and then just kind of like seeing that played out on screen, and then feeling like you were trying to pass down like the Barbies and the imagination and the play to your daughters. And then you still kind of like have that in you, like that what if, or, that dream. Because also, like, as adults, like, I don't really play video games. I mean, I write, I play around with like writing a novel and stuff. It's like my imagination. It's a world that I've created, but there's very few outlets to where we as women are like creating worlds and imagination and creativity and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I sew and put curse words on cross stitch, but that's just.
Yeah. I mean, I try really hard to like give my children like the books that I loved when I was 13 or when I was 28, and thinking about them when they were going to be 13. I was like, they're going to love it,
Yes,
and like,
that's the thing. Like, I remember like giving Ruby Barbies, and I'm just like, look at all the shoes.
Yeah. Yeah. And, a lot of times they just were, no, thank you. Like, they're just, and that felt real.
That
was a very real feeling. Yeah.
Because they're just like,
yeah, no, thanks.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't like what you like.
I know, but that's because you raised them to be their own people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. But it's almost like, I'm cool. I liked this thing, like the cool thing that I liked.
Also, like, it's also because I know them really well. Like, I'm not going to give them a book. Like, I wouldn't give, my daughters are so different. I would never give them both like the same book series and be like, you'd both love this one. Absolutely not. Because they're totally different kids. But still, like, in my brain, like, perfectly curated, she'll love this one. It's got dragons and ships, and and I'm like, this one's for her, and this one's got a love triangle and a boy with brown hair. Like, this one's for her. But like, they're not into it. And then when they do read something that I curated for them and they love it, they're like, oh yeah, well, that one was good. And I'm like, this one is too.
Yeah.
All of them.
Or when they finally do something, it's like that you were like, I told you so.
Yeah. I know you better than anybody else in the whole world. I know you think you have secrets, but I know you better than you know yourself. Yeah.
Yes.
I love it.
Anywho.
I don't know what Nimona is.
Nimona is a graphic novel that they just turned into a movie. Ruby would love it if she hasn't seen it already. Nimona's like the sidekick for a supervillain.
Oh, okay.
A shape-shifting sidekick to a supervillain. And it started out as like a little web comic, and then it became like a graphic novel, and now it's a movie. And the movie is so good. So good.
Really good. And it's like set in like a punky medieval world. Ruby would love it.
What's it on?
I think it's Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah.
She read Good Omens, and now I'm reading Good Omens, so we're gonna watch that together. So that's
I
gonna be
can't
like
wait
our...
for the second season. It's in like 2 days or something. I'm so excited.
It's tomorrow.
Yeah, who's in that? Like the cover is that Jason Segel or is that Don Draper?
I think it's John Hamm.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm very, very, very excited.
It does like, and it's not even like a mother-daughter thing. There's so many times where I'm telling Gilles, like, let's watch this, you'll love it. And he's just like, no, not for me. I'm just like,
yeah.
Excellent taste.
Terry Pratchett.
What?
I want to get Ruby into Terry Pratchett. I think she'd really like it.
Didn't he also write Good Omens with him? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he has his own fantasy series.
He does. And was doing like gender, stuff back in like, I don't know, when was he writing? In the early 80s, 70s, 80s. So like he's got, it's good shit.
It's good.
Yeah.
She's currently obsessed with Clone High.
Yeah.
And
I can't watch most of what my daughter watches. She'll show me something. I'll be like, I know you want to read the book I gave you. I can't watch this shit.
I do like it. I enjoyed it very much, but it's just like when she decides to it's like her ADD. I see it. Like I'm like, you're fixating on this now. Okay.
Yeah.
You got that from me. It's me. Hi.
It's the Barbie in her.
You're on your own, kid.
Well, guys,
like I did listen to that song like right after we watched the Barbie movie, and I was just weeping because I'm like, yeah, we're all on our own. Thanks, Taylor Swift.
I know. That's the other thing that's like so super indulgent, like a Taylor Swift concert. You're getting sparkly, you're getting bracelets, you're doing all of your stuff, and you're just going out and being as indulgent as possible in your feminine.
And as girly and feminine, and just that's why I love like what's happening with Barbie core. But then like that there's always that backlash.
Yeah.
That's like, oh, that's stupid, that's dumb.
It's just joyous. Like it's just so full of joy.
And I look really good in hot pink. Like that's I'm like, please let's not go back to very muted colors. I look good in bright yellows, greens, and pinks.
I don't.
Has anyone seen Oppenheimer?
Jewel tones.
Not yet, no.
Is it weird that I have no interest? And I'm a World War II fanatic.
I mean, I kind of want to see it for Emily Blunt and Frances.
Oh, I didn't even know she's in it.
Yeah. Robert Downey Jr., Emily Blunt.
Maybe I want to see it because I heard the sex scene is so fucking stupid and bonkers between Florence Pugh and...
Yeah, I heard it wasn't great. But like I really want to see Emily Blunt's performance. I heard good things, and like I'm invested in whether or not she's going to get an Oscar nomination. I don't know why. I just feel it feels important to me. So like,
really, like you want her to get one?
Yeah, like I think she's been nominated before, but like I'm just interested to see if she's going to get to that level again. Like I feel like she did that stupid Tom Cruise movie, and I don't know if she was nominated for A Quiet Place, but
okay, I love that Tom Cruise movie. It had like 400 different names.
Ryan watches it all the time. Yeah.
Yes.
And then that Matt Damon one that was like similar, where they're just like running from guys in hats.
She's a ballerina.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like that just doesn't feel like it should be her genre. Like keep doing Mary Poppins,
or just like be the stuck up bitch from, I would love to see what's her name is now. Is it Emily? What's her name in the movie with,
yeah.
But is she Emily in the movie? Is she Emily in that movie? Is that her name?
Yeah, I think so. The new Emily, because she calls Andy the new Emily, I think.
Yeah. She's like Emily. And like in my mind, whenever in Emily in Paris, when the snotty boss is like Emily, I feel like I'm hearing Meryl Streep say that name too.
Yeah, I could watch her be that character in a whole 7-arc season of television.
Yeah, like she needs to come on to and just like that, and just like read everyone for help. Destroy them.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, I'm just like I'm highly invested in Emily Blunt's career for some reason. Like just internally, I just feel like it's important, and probably because I had such a huge crush on John Krasinski.
Yeah, I was going to ask if that is the thing.
I mean, I don't anymore. No, as soon as he started doing Jack Ryan or whatever, I was like, bye,
Did you watch this?
I watched the first few episodes of the first season of Jack Ryan. I think I was covering it for That's Normal at the time, and because I was still like We were still
Yeah.
covering shit. And I was like, this is awful. I hate law enforcement. Like, what are we watching? This is terrible. This is not where
Law enforcement.
this isn't where he should be. Like he's
Yeah.
comic relief, like he's a romantic lead. Like this is just terrible. And like, so yes, he started doing Desert Storm movies or whatever, and I was like, I'm out.
He got like jacked, and he was just like, pew,
no,
pew.
He's supposed to be like 185 pounds. What is this? Why are you
Lanky.
225? Out of here.
Have you watched Clone High?
No,
because he could play the Abraham Lincoln character really well, like original.
Old school Jim Halpert?
Old school Jim Halpert, like kind of hunched over, real skinny.
See, we're the same age, and like we graduated from high school the same time, and like liked the same. Like I don't know, I just feel I just was very into John Krasinski because he was very much the kind of guy that had he been like not at Ivy League school in college, but instead at a Southern state school like me, like I would have been in love. So it's very, I've been very invested in him for so long. So now I'm just invested in his wife.
And like Jim, like he doesn't have a lot of ambition.
Right.
He's just working at the paper company. Office supplies. W.B. Mason, isn't that right, Mayor?
Oh yeah, you got to see your W.B. Mason truck. No, you're getting
Ruby asked the other day, she's like, what is W.B. Mason? And I was like, it's like a Staples in a truck.
They deliver.
Yeah.
Alicia, I have no idea how to move comments over, but yes. Like Christopher Nolan, why do I want to go watch a movie where men talk and like get sad over a bomb and like hallucinate Albert Einstein? I can do that.
The whole part's a hallucination?
I think at one point he is.
I thought that he like actually went and had a conversation
they met, but then there's a scene where he's like a dream guide. I don't need that.
Yeah.
I don't need that. I don't need a man in a hat looking sad.
That's some beautiful mind shit.
Take Benadryl. You can see a man in a hat.
How many Benadryl do you need to take to see a man in a hat?
You probably need to take a lot of Benadryl.
Yeah.
Don't take a lot of Benadryl, guys. That is not the cool table telling you to take a lot of Benadryl. Just saying.
So I had a really bad problem with nausea when I first started taking Vyvanse. And so my doctor actually recommended a high dose of Benadryl for like 2 days in a row. And it worked on my nausea, but you're right. Like, you're too high to sleep.
Yeah. My dog is on crate rest right now. And so I have to give him please don't come, I guess, take my meds, but I'm giving him like gabapentin and like muscle relaxers. Sometimes I walk by the crate and he's just like, yeah. And I'm just like, you seeing the man in the hat, Elliot?
I have to like read a horror book to see men in hats. I read Sylvia Morena Garcia's newest one, Silver Nitrate.
Yeah.
And I had nightmares from that book.
Was it terrifying?
No, I mean, reading the book was fine. I didn't think I was like that affected or whatever. And then I had vivid nightmares that were based in that book last night. It was very, very, very creepy. That book was like very good though, like Nazi occultism plus like a 90s sound editor for movies who like knows everything about like how old film reels work and stuff like that. And like silver nitrate's super flammable. And like, so there was like Nazi occultism and like Mexican spiritualism and just all this stuff like mixed in together. It was really
good.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted that.
Yeah. Silver Nitrate by Sylvia Morena Garcia.
I'll add it to my list.
It was good. But you're going to have nightmares.
I need to read You'll Never Eat Lunch in This Town Again because I have the full hardcover and I stole it from Karen's house. And if we go to visit her, I can return it. So I've got like 2 weeks to read that book.
Is that by Mark Leibovich?
No, it's a woman who wrote it. She's dead now, but she was an old Hollywood agent.
Love it. Yeah, Bretta, gabapentin is no joke.
I don't like gabapentin because it dehydrates me. Like it's like a diuretic. Like I'm like, I feel great, but I'm peeing every second.
Tell me about it.
Let's talk about drugs. That's why Benadryl is great, y'all, because it's hot pink. Like, why have there not been
Pepto?
Why has that not been a Pepto Barbie Benadryl collab?
Oh, like a Benadryl that has like a Barbie stamped on it.
Yeah, I would take that. I
Yeah,
would buy it just for.
probably because they don't want children to take it.
That's
fine,
the reason right there.
whatever. Well, then put Barbie on Fabuloso, like purple, like anything grapefruit right now, pamplemousse.
I'm
Like
having
again,
the cran raspberry LaCroix. It's very pink.
I've
Ooh.
got the Spindrift. This is the reason I'll never be able to retire. These are expensive as shit. There's like
Mhm.
$10 for 6. But yeah, like the Mattel, like their lack of like truly planning
The merch.
like merch. Like why wasn't Knuff available
yeah.
like the day that the movie dropped? Or why like do they have available where you can buy like the set for your rich kid, you
Ooh.
know?
Yeah. I don't know.
They didn't have you on the marketing team.
True.
They had all of those men in suits.
Mm-hmm. Idiots. Did y'all notice how many people from Sex Education were in that movie?
All I noticed
No.
was the guy with the horrible teeth
Yes.
from Fleabag.
From Fleabag.
Was next to-
Yes.
it was
And
such
then-
a distraction, actually.
So Maeve Finley or Finchy or whatever, who looks just like Margot Robbie, one of those actresses who looks just who's the lead in Sex Education. She was in it. And then the guy who's the new Doctor Who, he was one of the Kens. He's in Sex Education. And
Oh yeah, because he has like he's bleached blonde.
yes. And then the tall principal's kid from Sex Education is the underling at Mattel in the sweater vest.
Oh,
It was
then
like
the casting director.
I don't know. And then Sharon Rooney was the plus size Barbie, and she's from My Mad Fat Diary, which also just feels like it's Sex Education light, like it's the same kind of show. And then the guy with the teeth from Fleabag, I was like, was the casting director? Was it filmed in Europe? Like was it filmed in England? Like it just felt like such a
It was filmed in England.
Okay, that makes tons of sense because it just felt so British to me. Like all of these people from all of these shows that I've loved.
That was another thing I did love. It did feel like watching an old Hollywood musical or just like watching a musical, like where you can like look at like what the Kens are doing over here and then
the
like
giant soundstage of it all.
Yeah. And then like look back at like what the Barbies are, you could like just so much to look at and just like everybody, like just the feeling of like bit players, but like they're always doing something silly over on the side. No,
I love how she shit on Century City. I just thought that was amazing.
Amazing.
Very cute.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we've been talking for almost an hour and a half. We're going to have to let it end. But I did like Alicia's idea that we just need to do a cocktail hour and get ridiculously girly in whatever way works for us and live our best lives. And that is a great way to end this because that's what we should do. We should just keep doing cocktail hours at the cool table.
Like do the ridiculous girly thing. I have been doing a bar challenge and I hurt myself trying to do a cartwheel. And but bar class every day I feel like is just compounding the injury. And tonight I pulled out my magic wand and I actually used it for muscle purposes.
Good job.
So I feel like I have just like reached peak girly today, or like old girl peak,
like peak perimenopause.
Yes. Like, are you masturbating? No. But my Charlie horses, all better.
My occipital bone really needed that. Yeah, I use mine a lot right here. Right?
Oh yeah.
For my migraines.
I'll try that next time.
It doesn't make them go away. It just makes me feel better in the moment. But anyway, we will
Where's
have
that collaboration? Hitachi Magic Wand, Barbie.
It's a good one. All right. Love you guys. We are ending now. We will see you soon. Thank you for joining us. You're all beautiful. Bye-bye.
No, I know.